Well, hello, Cody Barnett, physical therapist with BodyWORX Physical Therapy. It is so great to have you as our guest. I've been looking forward to this interview.
Thank you, Lee. It's great to be here. Thanks for inviting me to do this.
Absolutely. I think what you have to say is going to be interesting and people are going to want to know what you have to say. So let me just get started. So what do you do in your business and for how long?
We started BodyWorks Physical Therapy and Concussion Center back in 2005. Although I've been practicing since the early 90s, so it tells my age there. But we started in 2005 in Wichita, and what we do is we specialize in helping people stay mobile and active and off pain pills. So what that means is for people that say they've got neck pain, chronic back pain, maybe they've twisted their shoulder, maybe they've twisted their knee, things of that nature. So we specialize in orthopedic problems. And then over about the last 7 or 8 years, we've also started to specialize in the treatment of concussions as well, as that's become more and more on the consciousness of our community. So basically, we're working with orthopedic problems and with concussions.
Okay. It's an interesting niche that you have. I like that you have a niche. Everything that you do in a traditional physical therapy practice still exists, but then you have this specialty of the concussions, which, as we know, is so common. We're hearing a lot more about it. They've got the new helmets now, the $500 helmets that these kids have to buy every year, which I'm glad they do. That's awesome. I think that's a great service that you have. So when someone walks into your business and they're your best customer, of course you're going to fix them, but what is your best customer? What do they look like?
Well, that's a really good question. So the common thread that runs through all of our clients, patients, is that it's people that care about their health. So it's people that prioritize their health, people that care about their health, people that want to stay mobile, active, they want to stay independent, they want to maintain their level of ability, whatever that might be, for as long as they can. And with that, like we get to see some really cool. I get to work with really cool people. So, for example, I've got 90-plus-year-olds that just inspire me, and they're exciting for me to get to hang out with. And we get to work with, we worked with Broadway stars, and we've worked with professional athletes, and we've worked with weekend warriors. But the common thread with everybody is that they care about their health. They value their health, and they put a priority on it.
Wonderful. Love that. Well, I know that yours is kind of a hands-on business, and I'm curious, were there any changes that you had to make that COVID-19 made a necessity?
That's a great question. So when COVID hit, the cool thing is that we had been doing telehealth for about 2 to 3 years prior to that.
Oh, okay.
So, as a lot of providers were scrambling to go, okay, how do I do telehealth visits, telemedicine visits? And so we already had a process set up. So we were able to just immediately start doing that. And yes, we are very hands-on with what we do. But there's a lot of stuff that we can do quite easily through a computer or through an iPhone. So, we stayed open during that time frame. So, we were still seeing patients physically, and then we had some patients that we were seeing virtually. And we were, I don't know if mandated is the right word, but we were strongly encouraged to stay open by the Department of Homeland Security because, quite frankly, my office is the place you want to be. Because if you've got, if you've hurt your back and you've got, a waiting room full of COVID patients in your doctor's office, you don't want to be there. You'd rather actually be in our office. So, we really provided a crucial bridge during that pandemic time frame, seeing people. But obviously, people were staying home more, and so we did a lot more telehealth than we had been doing traditionally. But we kind of rolled with it and just kind of did more of what we had been doing prior to
well,
that.
I'm glad that you had that in place. I think it makes a lot of sense. It seems like you could help more people if you spent the time on the doing maybe the assessment and offering some exercises maybe until they could get in to see you or in between appointments, something like that. I like that idea a lot. And also, wouldn't you be considered an essential business through the whole COVID-19? Yeah, because if you let these injuries or pain get worse over time, I don't like pain, so It's not
Well,
going
and
to work
then
good for me.
and then here's a little sideline, and that was we were seeing not so much, probably less now, but I'm still seeing it even now 2 years later. We've just coined them COVID injuries. We were getting COVID injuries
Oh, interesting.
because because we had people that were used to working at their workstation at work, and now they're set up on a bar stool in their basement or on a folding chair with a card table working from home, and now they're getting shoulder pain, neck pain, back
Mm,
pain. And so we
very.
were getting those, and then we were getting people that were like, well, crud, now that I'm home, I can, instead of running 2 days a week, I can go run 7 days a week. And so they just ramped up their activity level. Some people ramped up their activity level really high, or they started golfing every day when they used to golf 1 day a week. And so it was really interesting, totally unanticipated, but
Hmm.
we just coined it. It's a COVID injury,
I love it. It makes perfect
yeah.
sense. Would you say your
Yeah.
business improved over during COVID, or were you as busy or the same, or
Pretty
pretty even?
steady, pretty
Okay.
same. Yeah. Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, the first month, that month of March was kind
Hmm.
of rough, but after people realize, there's certain things in life that still have to go on.
Right.
We did pretty steady through that time frame.
I remember that month. Oof, that was a
Yeah.
weird month, wasn't it? No cars or airplanes. That was so strange. So, of the actions that you've taken because of the pandemic, what remain the same then? Is the telemed still? Do you do any other sanitizing or those sort of things that's maintained
Well,
smooth?
well, yeah. I mean, we do that. I mean, as a health clinic, we did that
Hmm.
before. Obviously, we probably ramped that up, during COVID. But it is kind of one positive is that if somebody's just not feeling well, maybe they don't have COVID, maybe they just have a cold. People are much more apt to say, you know what, I'm not feeling good. I probably shouldn't be around other people, and shouldn't spread that other places. So that's kind of a positive thing. And if we feel there's some risk,
Uh-huh.
everybody's got masks now. We've got
Yeah.
N95 masks. Here's an N95 mask, and
Hmm.
we do that. So the changes that all of us have made in life, and then and it is much easier now and more accepted, I guess, if somebody, well, let's say my car broke down, my car won't start. And it's like, and the people will call in, well, hey, no problem. We'll still keep your same appointment time. Um, we'll just hop on a telemedicine call. Here's the Zoom link.
There you go.
Um,
There you
so
go.
we'll
Hmm.
do that. So it's we pivot on those types of things quicker, and people are, because now everybody's done it, they're more accepting of it. And oh,
Right.
okay, yeah, no big deal, we'll do it.
Kind of like Zoom meetings. Some people were like, no Zoom, but now it's just an easy option if you need to.
Yep.
The founder of Action Coach, his name is Brad Sugars, and he was coaching us all through because as coaches we're trying to figure out how we're going to help these clients with this unknown. And he said, you're either going to get fitter or fatter, you and your business during COVID.
Yeah.
And that was the truth, right? There were those of us that
Yeah.
got fatter and those of us that got fitter. And you just kind of mentioned that those people that took on the
Yeah.
7 days a week instead of the two. So,
It depends on who is home streaming Tiger King on Netflix.
oh, that's an awful. Forgot about that show. True, we did a little bit of Netflixing, especially in March. When things were just we
Yeah.
didn't know what was going to happen. There's a little bit of a dark cloud depression thing I think that happened. So, well, as a business owner, what's been your biggest learning? I love hearing the answer to this question because it's always far and wide different. What's been your biggest learning as a business owner?
Yeah. So probably number one is don't panic. If anything, the COVID taught us that too. But when you're first starting out and you're green and you don't know what you don't know, um, it's really easy to panic when things don't go right, or they don't go the way you thought they would, or
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, things aren't working out. So, number one is just don't panic. There's, for every problem, if you have a problem, that's a good thing, because that also means there's an answer.
Ah,
And so, I'm not saying I don't stress or worry about things now, because I certainly do. I'm human, but um, I panic a lot less. I
mm-hmm.
freak out a lot less. So that would be one thing. Um, And then the other thing is to just be consistent. Be who you are. Um, in my world, it's treating the people that you treat, and
Mm-hmm.
seeking them out and allowing them to seek you out, and just be consistent. Be consistent in terms of how you present yourself. Be consistent in terms of your brand. Be consistent as far as what you're putting on the internet and
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing. And let your personality come through, and that will attract some people, and some people it might not, and that's okay. But the people that you connect well with will show up, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll be happy to make that connection and help them.
And likely you will attract the kind of clients that you want because you're putting that out there too. So
Yeah.
that's good. So we'll publish this in a newsletter. Are there any offers that you have or that you would like to have for the local community of the Wichita, Kansas surrounding area that you want us to put in the newsletter? And you could put a time on it or whatever. So the newsletter could be read in 6 months or a year from now too, but it usually gets read most when it's first goes out. But
yeah, so what we'd be happy to offer is anybody that might be suffering. Let's say that chronic little niggle that's in your back that just doesn't go away, or I've strained my knee, or I've hurt my shoulder, or anything like that. We'd love to offer what we call a discovery visit
okay.
for free, and that's something that we can do virtually, like you and I are right now,
Okay.
or it's something that we can do on a phone call, or it's something that we can do in person here at the office. But basically, it's just a chance. What we find, at least in our experience with a lot of our clients, is people don't want to make the wrong choice. They don't want to make the wrong decision and then have it not work out. And so the reason that we would offer this is basically to give people an opportunity to see, will this help me? And it gives us the opportunity to say, can we help you?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there's some clients that we don't take on because we're not the right person to help solve their problem, and we don't like for people to waste their time or money. So it gives us the opportunity to say, hey, yes, we'd be willing to take you on as a client. And then it also gives them the opportunity to get some clarity and some confidence about their problem, to go, okay, yes, this is the direction I want to go to solve this.
Right. And that personal connection too, which I think is important when you have medical care. That's like,
Yeah.
I love the discovery visit. What a great offering. I hope a lot of people take you up on that.
Yeah.
So what
Well, and one thing, Lee, like, even if somebody's not in Wichita, again, we can meet with people virtually.
okay.
And I have clients that sometimes we'll meet with them virtually. And I go, you know what, this is really a hands-on problem. I need you to see somebody hands-on where you live. And
Okay.
then other times, if it's something that we can do virtually, then we'll go, okay, yeah, we can deal with this virtually. So even if somebody's not in Wichita, we'd still be happy to have the conversation,
Okay.
and then we can determine if that'd be a good fit or not.
That's great. I think that's awesome. So as far as business books, what do you like to read, or what's your favorite business book? I know that's kind of hard to just maybe say. Some people
Yeah.
have their favorite.
Yeah. So for me, because I'm sure you do, I've read
Mm-hmm.
all the time.
Yes.
I've got a stack of books, on my dresser like this big.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always reading something. But for me, it kind of goes back to when I first started, and when I was first starting, I was like, okay, I gotta figure this out. I've got to get my stuff together. And so one that was very influential for me in the very, very beginning was called Business by the Book by Larry Burkett. And basically, what it is he takes biblical principles and applies them to business situations. And so that was really influential for me starting out. And then the second one is called Life is a Series of Presentations, which was really interesting. And basically, the book is helpful, but the title kind of says it all, right? Life is a series of presentations. So it doesn't matter if we're meeting like you and I are doing an interview right now, or you run into somebody at the grocery store in line, or you're sitting next to somebody at a ball game. Life is a series of presentations. So kind of applying that principle to be to go, every conversation we have, we're developing relationships with people, and you just never know where those relationships are going to go.
So life is a series of presentations. I like that. And then business by the book. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Well,
the presentations book is by Tony Geary, Jeary.
Jeary. Okay. I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Um,
So last question, how can people get in touch with you and your business? Your website, phone number, whatever.
Yeah. Yep. So we're at BodyWorksPhysicalTherapy.net. And our phone number is 316-558-8808.
Okay.
And then you can also find us on YouTube. You can Google us on, or search us on YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube is Physical Therapy KS, YouTube Physical Therapy KS. And Facebook, you can find us on Facebook. So all of those places, but BodyWorksPhysicalTherapy.net and 316-558-8808.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for your time. I learned a lot, took a lot of notes today, and I'm looking forward to having a conversation with you again in the future. So thank you, Cody Barnett, Cody Barnett at BodyWORX. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank you, Lee. I
Take care.
appreciate it.
Bye-bye.